Hi there, my name is Scott Phillips. I'm the president and founder of StarFish Medical. In today's video, we're going to be showing you some of our secrets of project management. I've always thought of project management as really being the heart of the company. This is where it all comes together. You've got this technology, you've got this clinical benefit you're hoping to get, and somehow that's got to turn into a magical product. It's really it's quite a remarkable set of abilities to bundle into one person. We're really happy that we've figured out how to develop some of those skills and how to attract some of the really amazing people who can do that work.
As the manager of the project management team here at StarFish, I'm often asked about what it takes to be a successful project manager. The answer comes down to what we define as the 4 pillars of technology commercialization. The first is leadership, vision, communication, and inspiration. The second pillar is foundational project management, time, budget, scope, risk, and change. The third pillar is business strategy. This is where we're trying to really understand our client's core value proposition and the critical milestones they're trying to hit along the way. And the fourth pillar is systems engineering. This is where we're integrating the technical efforts of multidisciplinary engineers, and we are carrying out the validation and verification activities.
Project managers spend a lot of time firefighting, dealing with issues that come up on a daily basis. But a really effective project manager will plan ahead of time to identify issues before they even arise, and potential risks or conflicts that may happen in a project, and then identify how those are going to be resolved beforehand. So a good example is on a project I was working with a new client, and I was describing the way we operate and how I wanted the project to run, and in doing so I explained a conflict management process I'd like to use. And sure enough, a week later there was an issue that arose during a weekly project meeting, and because we had already described and understood the conflict management process, it was able to be resolved quickly and effectively in that single weekly meeting call.
I had the chance to work with an organization that was implementing an ERP system, a software management system within their organization. Part of the project involved the collection of requirements, and in the collection of those requirements, we understood quite early on that the budget that was allocated to the project was not going to suffice for the scope that we saw emerging out of the collection of the requirements. What that meant was that we needed to put the project on hold, go back to the sponsorship group and engage in a change management process. Those changes were made quite quickly, or the decision to make those changes were made quite quickly because we had paid quite close attention to the scope, the budget, and the schedule to that point. And it was a relatively transparent process which allowed the project to restart and to move forward without the loss of the momentum that we had gained in the early part of the project.
Clear communication about what, why, and how is essential to project success. At a previous company, we had received 10,000 units, manufactured units from China, and we found a manufacturing defect in these. We described what the problem was and how we would fix it very clearly to a team of about 30 engineers and manufacturing personnel, and also to the client. We also described why we had to do this quickly, and the reason being that the client had planned a national launch and we could not delay this. We managed to fix the problem and deliver these 10,000 units on time, and basically salvage the units.
So the value that the project manager adds is understanding thoroughly the unique value proposition that the client has. And we try to harness that to create a successful product, to have a satisfied and successful client. So this doctor from the US, he approached us, and he has a very specific technique that he tells us that is unique, and his vision is to create a device that will allow anyone in the world, any health practitioner, to replicate his technique, thus making the procedure faster, easier, and safer. We have been helping him to not only understand what is the unique value proposition around that vision, right? So we aggregate value to that vision, and we are creating for him what the quality management system of StarFish calls a program plan, which is something very well defined here. He will be using that program plan as a business plan to approach venture capitalists and angels.
Coming up with creative solution ideas require using a systematic approach. The creative process behind problem solving a new product is fascinating. It is crucial to well define the problem that you're trying to solve in one sentence and write down all the constraints. Constraints enhance creativity. We started working on something new without knowing how the final product will look like. We had so many ideas and directions. One important constraint was to have a very low product costs. It seems unachievable first. However, after a few sessions and tests, we were able to come up with a very creative idea.
One of the most important documents that we generate is called systems architecture. It allows us to put all the pieces of a system together and see how they interact together. I worked on a project where different stakeholders were responsible for different parts of the system. And only when we put all the pieces together did we realize that the interfaces need their own management system. And that development was not accounted for in our original plan. The systems architecture document allows us to identify these issues early and mitigate them before they become a problem later on.
So as part of running the project management team, I have a philosophy to ensure that I'm empowering my team to make decisions for themselves. And so what I'd like to try to do is to make everyone understand the why of what they're doing. So asking themselves, why am I doing this? And if you can understand the why, then you can generally understand the how. And so rather than trying to get into the details of what some might describe as micromanagement, I am trying to get my team to understand the big picture and the vision, and then leave them to their own devices to help navigate and make some of those decisions along the way.